Hey, America, let's talk about something we all love. Tap water. You know, that refreshing, readily available liquid that keeps us hydrated and alive. Seems harmless, right? Well, a new government report has us looking at our trusty faucets a little differently. Turns out what you don't know hurt you. And in this case, it might be affecting our kids' brains. We're talking about fluoride. Yes, that same fluoride we brush our teeth with. It's been added to our water for decades to prevent cavities. All good, right? Well, this new report suggests that when it comes to fluoride, too much of a good thing might actually be a bad thing, specifically for developing minds. The report links higher levels of fluoride in drinking water to lower IQ scores in children. Yeah, you heard that right. The stuff meant to help them could be holding them back. Now, before you swear off tap water forever, let's dive into the details and see what's really going on.
This isn't some fringe science experiment, folks. This is the government itself waving a red flag. The report, released just last week, looked at fluoride levels in water systems across the country. And the results? Let's just say they're enough to make you pore over, pun intended, the data yourself. The magic number we're focusing on here is 1.5 milligrams per liter. That's the level of fluoride the report identifies as potentially problematic. Kids exposed to levels above this benchmark showed a decrease in IQ scores, ranging from 2 to 5 points. Now, that might not sound like a huge drop, but in the world of brain power, every point matters. What's even more concerning is that many communities across the U.S. have fluoride levels exceeding this 1.5 milligrams per liter threshold. This isn't just a problem for a small handful of towns. It's a nationwide issue affecting millions of Americans.
Okay, so how did we get here? Time for a quick history lesson. Cavities were a major public health crisis. People were losing teeth left and right. Scientists discovered fluoride could strengthen tooth enamel. Hooray for science! In the 1940s, communities began adding fluoride to water. It was hailed as a public health triumph. Cavities went down, smiles were saved. Today, about 70% of Americans get fluoridated water. But the recommended fluoride level was based on preventing cavities, not neurological effects. We didn't understand fluoride's impact on the brain. Now, new research forces us to reevaluate the risk-benefit analysis. What was once a simple solution is now a complex issue with far-reaching consequences.
This isn't just some abstract nationwide concern. This is happening in your backyard, America. The report specifically calls out certain regions and counties where fluoride levels are particularly high. We're talking about places like the Midwest, parts of the South, and even some communities right here in the Northeast. These areas often rely on groundwater sources that naturally contain higher levels of fluoride. And while some communities have taken steps to reduce fluoride levels, many others are still lagging behind. This creates a patchwork of different standards across the country, leaving millions of Americans wondering about the safety of their water. This isn't about pointing fingers or creating panic. It's about arming ourselves with information and demanding better from our public officials. We deserve to know what's in our water and what it's doing to our health, especially the health of our children.
Look, nobody wants their kid to lose a few IQ points. But the potential impact of high fluoride levels goes beyond just test scores. Some studies suggest a possible link between excessive fluoride exposure and other health issues, like thyroid problems and bone disorders. Now, it's important to note that the science on these other potential health effects is still evolving. More research is needed to confirm these links. But the fact that these questions are even being raised should give us pause. We're talking about a chemical that's ingested by millions of people every single day. Don't we deserve clear answers about its potential long-term effects? This isn't just about fluoride. It's about the larger issue of transparency and accountability in our public health policies. We need to trust that the government is making decisions based on the most up-to-date scientific evidence, not on outdated assumptions or industry lobbying. Our health and the health of future generations depends on it.
So, what do we do with this information? Well, the first step is to not panic. Seriously, chugging bottled water for the rest of your life isn't the answer, and it's terrible for the environment. We need to channel our inner Aaron Brockovich and demand action. First and foremost, we need stricter regulations on fluoride levels in drinking water. The current guidelines are clearly outdated and don't reflect the latest scientific understanding of fluoride's potential risks. We need to push our elected officials at both the federal and local levels to prioritize this issue and update these guidelines based on the latest research. Second, we need increased transparency from water utilities. Consumers have a right to know what's in their water. Water quality reports should be readily available and easy to understand, not buried in bureaucratic jargon on page 17 of a 200-page document. We need clear, concise information about fluoride levels, potential contaminants, and what steps are being taken to ensure safe drinking water for all.
This isn't a battle we can fight alone. We need to raise awareness about this issue and mobilize our communities to demand change. Talk to your friends, family, neighbors, that weird guy who always wears a tinfoil hat. He might be onto something this time. The more people who understand the potential risks of high fluoride levels, the louder our collective voice will be. Contact your elected officials. Write letters to the editor. Start a petition. Organize a protest. Okay, maybe not a full-blown protest, but you get the idea. Make some noise. Let our leaders know that we're paying attention and that we demand safe, healthy water for all Americans. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge and demanding better from the people we entrust with our health and well-being. Clean, safe water is a fundamental human right, not a privilege. Let's fight for it.
Section 8. The water industry responds. Are they listening? Now, you might be thinking, surely the folks in charge of our water are already on top of this, right? Well, the response from the water industry has been, shall we say, mixed. Some water utilities acknowledge the new research and are taking steps to reduce fluoride levels, which is great. Others, however, are sticking to the old guidelines, claiming there's not enough evidence to warrant any changes. Look, I'm not a scientist, but when a government report links a common chemical in our drinking water to potential harm, especially in children, I tend to err on the side of caution. And when the response from the industry is essentially, meh, we'll wait for more proof, it raises some serious red flags. It's time for the water industry to step up, acknowledge the legitimate concerns of the public, and prioritize the health and well-being of the communities they serve.
Chapter Section 9. Protecting our children, a shared responsibility. At the end of the day, this isn't about politics or profits. It's about protecting our most vulnerable population, our children. They deserve a chance to grow and thrive without the risk of preventable harm from something as basic as drinking water. We owe it to them to demand better, to fight for their right to a healthy future. This isn't just the responsibility of the government or the water industry. It's a shared responsibility. We all have a role to play in ensuring safe and healthy water for all. We can start by staying informed, engaging in our communities, and holding our elected officials accountable. We can also make informed choices in our own homes. Consider investing in a water filter that removes fluoride. Talk to your dentist about fluoride alternatives for your children's dental health. Small steps can make a big difference, especially when we all work together.
Section 10. Looking ahead, a future with safe and healthy water. This isn't an unsolvable problem. We've tackled public health challenges before, and we can do it again. We have the technology, the resources, and most importantly, the collective will to ensure safe and healthy water for all Americans. Imagine a future where every child can drink from the tap without a second thought, knowing that their water is clean, pure, and free from harmful contaminants. Imagine a future where public health policies are based on the latest scientific evidence, not outdated assumptions or industry influence. This is the future we need to strive for. This is the future our children deserve. And it all starts with a single drop of awareness, a ripple of action, and a wave of change that washes over our nation, demanding better, safer, healthier water for all. Section 11. Join the movement. Your voice, your water, your choice. So, what are you waiting for? Get informed, get involved, and make your voice heard. Spread the word on social media, talk to your neighbors. Together, we can create a movement for change, demanding clean, safe, and healthy water for all Americans. This isn't just about fluoride. It's about taking control of our health, our communities, and our future. It's about demanding better from our leaders and holding them accountable for the decisions that impact our lives. Ensuring everyone has access to clean, safe, and healthy water. The choice is ours. We can either sit back and accept the status quo, or we can rise up and demand better. We can choose to be passive consumers, or we can choose to be active citizens, fighting for a healthier, more just, and sustainable future for all. The time for action is now. Join the movement. Your voice, your water, your choice.